stand out from the competition. I look forward to seeing you.
All right, and here we are, right? So after I look at an article talk about that Better.com fired like 9,000 employees in total, or 3,000 employees. Uh, and the allegation was because most of those employers are not efficient. They just only work 2 hours on from for the 8 hours. They only works 2 hours, and to me it's like, yeah, of course, we're not 100% efficient. Not even the athletes work that hard. It's because their physical capability doesn't allow them to do it. You know what I mean? And so with that, what I want is to illustrate here is, yes, of course, recognize that you only provide 2 or 3 hours of work if you're gonna work in a company, perhaps 4 hours. Okay, perhaps 4 hours is you don't do what you're supposed to do, right? So you let a lot of the paperwork, the unnecessary pile up. Okay, I get it. But most of the time, you're barely efficient in 2 or 3 hours. I will argue. I will argue. Especially now that we're living in this era of huge Jesus, automation or automatization. I think it's automation. Now that we live in this era of automation, huge automations, now we can be much more efficient with our time and especially on work. So in my case, I will dedicate or I will put uh, hour and a half or an hour of learning about finance, coding as well. That uh, another hour is learning about business and how to become this business consultant freelancer, and all into deep dive into what is, or I mean, and dive deep into the concept of how to be a business consulting and what business, so what is business after all, and also going to dedicate an hour to some service that is already on demand. For example, Node.js. Uh, and if I find a work, and if I find a job, well, I'm going to dedicate 3 hours of my time, perhaps 4 hours. Especially depend if you're new to the field, perhaps you're going to measure that, right? But the whole idea is that identify that you are not 100% efficient working 8 hours straightforward. This is nonsense to me. And I look at that is, even though if you hit to the gym or if you look to other athletes or artists, they are not 8 fucking hours training intensively. So of course I need period of uh, rest, which is important, and also periods of activity. So it's this way of you can find when you're gonna dedicate time and for how long and so on and so forth, right? So yeah, okay. So now I'm going to look at this huge overview of how to become with this business consulting freelancer, especially because right now I'm going to start offering this service that is already on demand. Okay, uh, make a huge overview of the last model that I have learned so far. What consulting or getting started to building a business consulting freelancer career, getting started, and then find and land high paying consulting clients. So in this last course, yes, I went to a place where you can find and land high paying consulting clients. Before that, now that you or that now that in my case I went to those two sections or those two models, getting started building a freelance consulting career, then getting started as a business consulting freelancer. So once you know what consulting business is, you find a profitable niche, and then you create your offer or your value statement. Now it is time to put those in practice to get some real feedback from the markets. And there are a couple mistakes to avoid, especially when you start to find and land happy consulting clients, like focusing too much in your portfolio. The idea here is to find clients and get some good review from your work. The other is that pain running ads. Why? Because since you don't have your entire process worked out, you need to do that organically, and then when you can create your own process based on that, then you're gonna offer your service and pay for ads and pay ads. And the other is that not focusing on your skills. Since the whole idea is that clients will use your reputation and your past works and past experience to decide if they want to work with you. That's the reason why you should focus in your skill, especially on periods of crisis that we're living right now, or periods of or this contraction phase in the economy, right? Or downturn. And to say that, well, it is easy to say that if you already have money. However, if you're not, if you don't have any financial substrate, uh, you're gonna get the first job that you have and try to see how you can serve the way out of your situation. So then, yes, then I look at place where I can find and land. First, place where I can find high-paying consulting clients like Upwork or any of the top leading online platform that connect freelancer with clients, whether it's Total, uh, there are several others, Fiverr, freelancer. The whole idea is to uh, look at a particular platform that is already on demand, okay? And then the other place where you can start find your client is your existing network. This is very contextual because especially if you live in place like Nigeria, Venezuela, Argentina, or in any developing country, not developed countries, in any developing countries, this is very hard to find clients, especially clients that wants to build business. Because most of the time, I will argue. Of course, there are people that they want generally to create this kind of business, but I will argue that most people on those countries they just want to follow this quick rich scheme. Uh, they just want to live their life right now. They want to live the movie right now. Here. And the other place where you can find is employment site. This doesn't necessarily align 100% to what uh, freelancer consulting is. However, it can help you to kind of get your feet wet, you know, get your foot in the door, to get some traction, and then down the line you can create your own side business consulting freelancer. Then I look at the tools that allow us to make and then have more success, especially when you are developing relationship by using tools like CRM, Hotspot, or any CRM. It is customer relationship management that allows you to have a great record of every interaction that you're having with any potential client or sales leads, prospect. So the whole idea is to create this business relationship, okay? And again, I make a quote here, make a pause here, because especially in back in 2, 3, 4 years ago, uh, I have this mindset that especially when you are a business consultant freelancer, when you're going to build a business, or when you want to offer a service, the whole idea is to create business relationship with others and try to give the best outcome and your or high quality output from your work. Okay, so coming back here, uh, come back to here, and so yeah, CRM, right? This is great tools. For example, HubSpot. I also look at how can I use HubSpot for that, where you can have a great record for every interaction that you're having with any potential clients, sell leads, schedule meeting as well. You can make a email prospect tracking, among other features, right? And then I look at the consultation tips to land more additional clients, to land more clients. There's no need to add additional. Uh, Consulting tips to land additional clients. And this is, well, remember that this is a numbers game, and it is up to you to ask a couple questions. What I'm doing right now, and am I putting myself in the best possible position to move forward? And the other is uh, show your face. You want to create a distinction, especially if you're offering a digital service. You want to create a distinction between yourself and your digital avatar, right? So, okay, cool. Now, then I also look at some, especially from Upwork, or to identify nightmare clients versus, yeah, identify nightmare clients and uh, versus great clients. Okay, and then the consultation sell tips to land more clients. And this is about listen more, because most of the time freelancers go on talk themselves why they're a good fit for the job that they apply, any past experience that they have that are similar to the job they're applying to, but they forgot to listen to the client, what they say. Perhaps they're not telling the truth. The idea is that the more you're able to read their body language, reading between lines, you can use all of those fact finding to kind of guide you where the conversation is heading, and from there land more additional clients. That's one of the consultation sell tips. The other is use speed, especially if you find the right client. Well, you want is to start to reach to them as fast as possible and make the initial contact. The other is the solution selling process, because instead of focusing is on the project, focus is on the solution that you bring. Why is this? Because the more you're able to do that, okay, that you're able to provide is a solution for them, right? rather than focusing is on their projects, you can use that to improve your portfolio, to boost your portfolio. Uh, and then um, the other is the add free value. And this doesn't mean to work for the client for free. In fact, this is that go above and beyond what your competition are doing or is not doing. And this is all about uh, tell the client if, for example, hey, I already put this together for you. Can you? I would like to see what you think about it. Uh, the whole idea is to go above and beyond what your competition and others are doing, right? And in my case, it's like recording here, okay, improving is my business skills, finance, and technology, also my communication skills, and my analytical, and then find the right clients so I can offer is, in my case, uh, Node.js solutions to them and get some money from them, right? And then continue to evolve to other fields and other topics that are very interesting to me, right? So, uh, the idea here is that see yourself as the missing piece to complete the client puzzle, to solve their problems. And the way to do that is by following is this solution selling process, which it was founded by Frank Watt, or it was developed by Frank Watt at One Laboratories, once one of the largest computer manufacturing in the world. So this says that diagnosing the needs of a prospect uh, and then recommend the right product or service to solve the challenge that they have. This solution selling process, uh, one of the key take points, key takeaway of this solution selling process is that you must offer is a solution for the problem and use this in any business to business sell process where there is or use this business to business sell process uh, or use this solution selling process in any business to business sell process, whether you have sale leads, whether you have sale leads or prospect that need a tailored or customized solution rather than something off the shelf that they can buy in. Um, and this is something that linking that with Alex Hormozzi, okay? Uh, what he mentioned about is what is the business side and what most business are worthless is because most of the time their offering is customer or most of the time their offer is customized tailoring solution to multiple clients that are not scalable, and that's the key point here, right? So if you okay, it's okay if you're starting to offer because the solution selling process work by offering is a tailoring solution in any business to business sell process where you gotta sell leads or prospect. Okay, but the issue with that is that if you're solely focused on that, you cannot scale your business. And scalability is one of the aspects that the technology and business align. Okay, and that's also a part of the economy as well. How do we interpret the economy? So economy, business, and technology align to scalability for that. So if your business it's not scalable, and you rely on technology, uh, the market will eat up you, or it will be very, very hard to sell that to someone else, right? It will be very, very hard to sell that to someone else. So, okay. And that's something that can go is to, yeah, and that's something that it can go um, to any business, ultimately. So, once I look at this, all right, especially of the solution selling process, where use this or use it in any business to business sell process where you get a whereas you get a prospect or sell leads that need a tailored solution. The problem is that you if you over focusing on that, uh, most of the time your business are not scalable, or it's very hard to do that. So a solution might be is to offering it different package, all right, or different customized package, right, where they can go with. So you sell that massively through that. For example, if I'm going to create templates, okay, most of the time can be where I can sell those templates for, let's say, well, for blog, for e-commerce, uh, most of the time, for blog and e-commerce for that. If you're using Knock 3 for that, you can sell that for customer, I mean for blogs and uh, yeah, for blogs and how do you say that? Yeah, for blog and e-commerce, for example, or mobile version as well. Most of the time, I think it's mobile because the trend is that we're going to move to mobile. This is something that I use daily in my life, mobile version. So yeah, okay. And then I look at this solution selling process of how to do that by find the process. It can be laid out in different phases, like prospect journey, where you find the right client, you start to reach out to them. Uh, when you find the right client, you start to reach out to them. Uh, mhm. This is when you find the right client, you start to reach out to them. Uh, yeah. You find the right client, you start to reach out to them to get their attention. Okay, once you have done for several clients, you qualify them by looking at your list of prospects or sell leads, and then ask the right questions to decide if they're a good fit for you. And that is see if you can provide the value that the client is seeking, and then you do a demo and discovery call, all right? Yes, and then you do a demo and discovery call, all right? Uh, and this is to do even more fact findings about what you're gonna do with the client, okay? Uh, and the whole idea of this demo and discovery call is to tell the client, hey, can we move forward with this, or this is gonna end right there so I can move on to the next project. So if the client agreed with that, to move on with you and your proposal, then you send the proposal and you add the value to ultimately show them all of your expertise and suggestions and different offers that they can go with. So the whole idea of this is Paul Mendes mentioned that using this process can help you to avoid get burned quickly because you can do that uh, and get unmotivated as well. So even though perhaps the client doesn't want to go with you, right? They have some objections, and half the battle is to identify what the real objection is, and then by asking the right questions and be on point and listen more and find out what the real objection is and tell the client the truth that matters, that you're going to like you are the solution for their problem. Most of the time these objections can be boiled down into uh, time, budget, and money. So if the objection is money, well, you can offer them a lower option by asking them, hey, have you considered my lower options? The other is your, if the objection is value, well, you can show them your past experience for similar jobs. So the other is always following up or consistently following up, especially for clients like that, because the more you're able to do that, so you can be into another whole league by just uh, make that your client be always thinking of you, be on top of their client's mind. And the other is, well, get creative to stand out, which is something that I'm doing right now. Right? So get creative to stand out. Okay. So then I look at once you know how to tackle all of your objections and you follow up clients and you get creative to stand out, it is important to know how to handle client payments. Because most of the time freelancers and consultants go on and they end up paying the price for this kind of errors. And this is an invoice process. Once you create your service agreement, okay, what you're going to outline is the project overview, the timeline, the terms and terminations, the compensations, the agreement, the scope of the work. Uh, in that service agreement, never guarantee any results, even though it is. This is something. It is funny because if you look for any service that you acquire, they're not guarantee you anything, and it is right like that. For example, if you let's say you hire a Netflix, and for some reason you are there, you reach a point where your dopamine levels are so high that is barely that you can barely reach them by looking at all the content they show you on Netflix. You end up saying, "Well, I'm not enjoying this service anymore. They cannot provide me anything that I want to align or identify or feel, whatever. So I have to cut this." And this is just an example because it can go to any service. Okay? For example, a medical service, mechanical service, and so on. Right? This is somewhat similar. This is something that Paul Mendes mentioned: is that never guarantee any results Simply put, that you're going to provide the best effort to give a high quality output, and also define clearly the terms and conditions, or the payment conditions, and anything that happened out, or if the client wants something that is outside of the scope of that, they need to pay you. And then uh, the service agreement sign, uh, be clear on the conditions here. Mhm. Secure payments based on term. Uh, for example, if your offering is an hourly rate, you might want to get that weekly or bi-weekly. In other words, or for example, if your offering is a milestone, you can tell the client, hey, I would like to 50% upfront to I would like to 50% upfront, and if the client uh, it comes with an excuse. So tell them that you can start working on that without that payment handled, with that payment secured. And then once you get that secure, begin providing the consultation service. Don't start the project without getting the payment handled. If you're working hourly, you probably want to do that weekly or bi-weekly. So after that, okay, to see the invoice process, or how to invoice clients, then I look websites for that offers the freelance websites versus personal invoice, uh, where you have this Upwork, freelancer, Fiverr. They already handle that for you, and others are PayPal, QuickBooks, or Soho, where they can offer you to create this personalized uh, invoice, this personal invoice. So you don't want to get ripped by the market, so get serious about money. An example is, I also look at an example of that in something very, very important, okay, is scaling to multiple consulting clients. This is the end goal of providing your service. So the next step you want to take of your consultation journey, once you landed some additional clients, you know how to send a service agreement. Very, very important. Once you landed some additional clients, you know how to send service agreement. You know how to uh, secure payment clients. You started to have some progress. You have to remember that scale to multiple clients is the ultimate goal. And this is how you grow your business, and you'll turn into a steady flow of income. Because once you have multiple clients to pay you in multiple different companies, in different industry, let's say, that will help you diversify your revenue, and you also have multiple source of income. One key to scale your business is simple. Deliver a top quality product. Remember that your reputation is everything, and people spend on things they trust and like. So log everything you do, especially in your business. Have a customer relationship management, and if you struggle with it, remember that it's all about getting leads. And don't forget to repeat the process. And to repeat the process here is that. Okay. World leader, world leading expert. 75 a huevo. Ay, qué sale. Dice una empresa obscena, la verdad. All right. And with that, that'll be all for this episode. So take care. Bye bye.